Caesar C. Mitchell serves as president of the Atlanta City Council. As a public official, Mitchell advocates for a safer communities through the Pacific initiatives, including police foot patrols. He has championed key legislation facilitating economic revitalization in underserved
Mitchell
areas.
is a senior attorney with the national law firm of Epstein, Baker & Green, PC, where he practices commercial real estate as a long-time community activist. Mitchell has held board directorships on behalf of civic, legal, and community affairs organizations, including Hands on Atlanta and Outbound Atlanta and Hands on Georgia. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Caesar Mitchell.
Okay. I really feel inadequate standing up here, to be honest with you. Let's give these young people a hand. You know, I'm always impressed by the work of raising expectations. And, you know, I remember when one year we were doing the SAT prep, and Tangi and Maria brought about 30 kids to the SAT prep. And I said, who are all these kids? They're so well behaved. All the other kids running all over the place. And these kids were so well behaved. And I said, Tangi, thank you for bringing your young folks. And she said, well, no, thank you for holding this program. You know, and it was really then, in some ways, that raising expectations came into focus for me. I may have even contributed previously, but it was really then, because it gave me an opportunity to see how a staff of 4 people and how sheer determination in the face of lack of funding and in some cases a lack of support really just didn't matter. They stepped up and made a difference. They stepped up and said, we're going to remain committed to our young people, because we know that if they reach their potential, then our city and our state and our world will be a better place. So let's give the staff of Raising. I won't embarrass, I don't know if y'all can hear me, I won't embarrass Tangi, but they were down at City Hall. Can everyone hear me? Yes. Okay, they were down at City Hall. You know, down at City Hall on Monday. And so all of my colleague Ivory Lee Young Jr. Gave a number of proclamations, about 4 or 5 proclamations at one time. And I'm going to have to create a new rule called the Ivory Lee Young maximum proclamation. But he gave a number of proclamations, and one of the organizations was Raising Expectations. So they all were down in the well, you know, Tangi, Maria, and was Elizabeth there as well? Oh, yeah. And so they were all down in the well, and Tangi was standing behind, so I'm looking at her, and her mouth is poked out, and she's like, she looks mad. She said, what is she mad about? This is great. And so she's just standing there looking mad. I'm wondering, what are some of the kids giving a problem? So I sent her this text message, hoping to frazzle her, wondering, why is Council President Mitchell sending me a text message, you know, while I'm standing here in the well? But she thankfully, she didn't respond, because I would have had her laughing and embarrassing herself. But we were really glad and honored to have Raising Expectations be at City Hall with us on Monday. And we were honored to be able to celebrate you all and the work that you do. I also want to give kudos to the community partners and the folks that sponsor and make this organization go. You know, when you're working a nonprofit, and many of you are very familiar with the nonprofit space, most of your resources are the resources you create with your hand and with your mouth. That is, you got to talk a good game to get someone to help you, and you got to be willing to lift boxes, pull carts, and do everything you can with your hands and with your feet. And so to have community partners, to have sponsors that are willing to engage with Raising Expectations on an everyday basis is something that is significant and something that we should certainly not disregard or dismiss. You know, I really don't have a keynote because I think what we've seen here today has been the keynote. You know, the videos, the statements of the young people about what they're doing and how these programs are impacting. I would only just give a call to action, and I know someone's going to pass the offering plate a little bit later. Is that correct? Yep. Okay. Now, you all better hope I can't stay because I will strong arm each of you at that door. You will not leave. But no, seriously, this is really an opportunity for us to celebrate and reaffirm the partnerships. If we come together as a community and as a city and embrace our young people, then the work of the police is completely different. You know, police aren't doing what they have to do. They're not running behind teenage boys who are learning how to break into houses and then learning that from, you know, 19-year-old boys who've learned it from 30-year-old men. If we are supporting organizations like Raising Expectations, then we are not having to fund a criminal justice system, a court system, a jailhouse, to spend, you know, roughly $400,000 per cell block, per day or per month to house young people. But no, we're getting them ready to go to school instead. We're getting them ready to lead this community. So when you think about making an investment, when you're thinking about partnering, it should be easy. Now, I guess being here right now, I'm really speaking to the choir. I'm assuming, I mean, is there anyone in here who needs some convincing? Just raise your hand. Okay, I'm speaking to the choir. So what we have to do as a choir is sing as loud as possible. You know, and we've got to make sure that when we scream loud, we're screaming for our young people, that we're not taking no for an answer. I have a friend who is a very dear friend of mine, and he grew up on the south side of Chicago. And he grew up, you know, I mean, I saw where he lived when we were going to law school. We took a trip to his neighborhood, and it was something I'd never seen growing up here in Atlanta. I've seen some bad places in Atlanta, but this was in Chicago, and I'd never seen anything this bad. And it was something he told me when he received his acceptance letter. He said, Caesar, if they let me get in front of them, they are not going to tell me no. He said, if they let me get in front of them, they're not going to tell me no. And what he was saying was that you just give me an opportunity. You give me a chance to show and prove. And I'm going to show and prove, and I'm going to seize the opportunity, and I'm going to prove anyone wrong who thinks, you know, that I can't get this done. And I'm going to make you proud and make you glad to say I helped that little boy from Chicago. But that's the opportunity we have here working together for these young people. Let's figure out how to get it in front of someone who can help us, who can help the cause of Raising Expectations. And let's make sure when we get in front of them, we tell them, if you let us say one word, maybe two, by the third word, you will be sold, and you will not tell us no. That's our opportunity. So we can't do it if we don't work together. We can't do it if we're not figuring out how we can support each other and understand the issues that each of us are facing as we go about the work in this community. So I want you all to know this. As council president, sure, call me down at City Hall. That's great. I'll take the call. That's wonderful. But as a resident of West End, a native of Atlanta, the son of a police officer, the son of a school teacher, call me anytime, anywhere. And you're going to get me to roll up my sleeves. Well, I can't speak like that in front of these young people, but roll up my sleeves and really go to work for it. Because this is the work that makes a difference. This is God's work. This is the work that leaves legacies. And so Tangi, Maria, I mean, I really must say, you know, Elizabeth, I really must say, and Devin, you all are doing God's work in a very humble way. And I think you should be applauded for that. But beyond applauding, we've got to figure out how to say without a doubt, I know that a future president of the Atlanta City Council is in this room. A future mayor is in this room. A future college president, a future CEO of a Fortune 100 corporation is in this room. But not only do the young people have to believe that. And young people, I want you to believe that and know that. But we have to believe that with them and for them. So thank you all for the work that you're doing. Hats off to Raising Expectations, community partners, and all the folks here who are committed to community work. Thank you for being here. And again, congratulations and God bless.
My name is Devin Rucker, and I'm definitely the new kid on the block. I have had the distinct pleasure of being Raising Expectations Program Manager since January of this year. We're going to talk about a few ways that we need your help. But before I kind of go into those specific things, I just want to share or provide the space for one of our students to share her own personal experience.
Good evening. Once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Tonshella Marshall, and I've been with Raising Expectations for 7 years. 7 years ago, when I first came, if many of you would have met me, you probably would have turned your backs and washed your hands. I was very closed-minded and thought the world revolved around me. It was either my way or the highway. And I always wanted everyone to do exactly what I said, how I said it, and when I said it. And through Raising Expectations, I've learned that it's better ways to communicate, and everything doesn't revolve around me. And you can't always be closed-minded if you want somebody to get something done for you. Today, I still kind of think I'm a boss, but I've learned better ways to communicate my skills to others when I want something done, when I need help. I've learned to actually reach out and ask for help, and I've even learned to network for future causes. I've had many memorable summers with Raising Expectations. On my own life skill retreat, we would talk personal hygiene, ways to communicate, and different ways you greet and meet people. One of the mentors, Isaiah Scott, who attended Morehouse, he really taught us a lesson by this simple phrase: if you don't squeeze my hand, I'll squeeze yours. And some for the ladies, some of us had really small hands and we were really squeezing. But it just didn't seem like it. And he was a squeezing and just a squeezing. Some of us actually had to use 2 hands. Then there was this summer. I had many things to do for school, such as Project Grad, GSU, Georgia State University, and other things I had to do for scholarships. But Miss Tangi, Miss Maria, Mr. Devin, and Liz all helped make sure that I had to do what was needed. Some, they made sure that we stayed fit, they made sure that we ate healthy, they made sure everything was provided. We woke up one early, bright Saturday morning, thinking we was going to go work out. You know, it wasn't going to be hard. So we thought, the boys, they were running, they was running, and he was like, I'm going to take it easy because y'all are girls. If that was the definition of easy, I wish I was a toddler. I would never in my life like to see a hard workout. I've learned my lesson. I'm pretty sure many of the boys have too. I've even learned the different phrases in Latin and in Greek words thanks to Kaplan teachers. And I've even made better friendships and connections with a few of my peers. So without Raising Expectation, I wouldn't be the person I was today. So now that you've seen Raising Expectation in work, we reach out. Help, commit to Raising Expectations, and help us keep going. After all, we are your future. We're the next Miss Tangi and Miss Maria. We're the next Mr. Caesar Mitchell. We're the next Obama, police officers. Amen. And we're even everything you'll ever need. After all, someone has to take care of you guys when your light dims. So help spark a flame, and help extend our futures. Thank you.
Yes, finally, I'd love to say again thank you to all of you for accompanying us this evening. Thank you so very much.